Hello everyone, I am Asma Channa. Following to next 20 to 25 minutes, I would like to talk on Parkinson's disease patients evaluation based on wearable sensors device and deep learning. The authors of this study along with me are Raresh Efrem, Decibel Popescu and Nirvana Popescu. We all are from University Polytechnica of Bucharest Computer Science Department, Romania. And in case anyone of you wants to connect with us, these are the following email addresses mentioned here. As I'm the presenter of today's study, so this is my biography. My name is Asma Channa and I have obtained my master's degree in electronic systems engineering from Mehran University of Engineering and Technology, Jamshoro, Pakistan in 2018. And my bachelor's degree is in electronics from the same university, which I obtained in 2015. And currently I'm pursuing a double PhD degree at University Polytechnica of Bucharest, Romania, and my training in University of Reggio Calabria, Italy, as a Marie Curie Fellow in European Project AVIR. And my research interests include biomedical signal processing, e-health wearables, and artificial intelligence. Before I start, I would like to acknowledge the AVIR project. This project has received funding from European Union Horizon 2020 Marie Curie Innovative Training Networks under the grant agreement number 813278, and this is the whole AVIR project team. Let's start with the purpose of this study. So the question is, why to develop an e-health wearables for Parkinson's disease patients? The reasons are, these wearables have potential to automatically detect Parkinson's disease and inform clinicians about progression of disease. These wearables help in early or differential diagnosis of PD, monitoring of motion state, prevention or reduction of off-stage status. These wearables can also find the severity of the disease that helps health practitioners in treatment. And the wearables with a constant connection of Bluetooth or Wi-Fi serve as a telemedicine platform for doctors to monitor and manage patients. Parkinson's disease is a brain disorder that leads to shaking, stiffness, and difficulty with walking, balance, and coordination. Parkinson's symptoms usually begin gradually and get worse over time. It is one of the challenges for researchers and doctors to implement a system that helps them to evaluate and provide an unbiased tracking of cardinal motor symptoms of the Parkinson's disease population. A tremor is defined as an involuntary and rhythmic shaking. Around 70% of Parkinson's disease patients notice tremors as the early symptom, while bradykinesia is the slowness of movement. The clinical diagnosis of Parkinsonian tremor and bradykinesia is carried out using a traditional method such as Unified Parkinson's Disease Rating Scales or Hoehn and Yaher criteria. The main objective of this research study is to introduce a wearable bracelet that is developed using two inertial sensors, which are 3D accelerometer and 3D gyroscope, to be used by neurologists in clinical assessment and for correct diagnosis of tremor and bradykinesia. In parallel with that, it also helps in severity analysis of patients in home environment. In this study, we developed a hand bracelet as a measurement unit. The bracelet acquired data about hand movements of the patients and the healthy participant for the correct diagnosis of Parkinson's disease. The components used in this bracelet are C-mode microcontroller containing a microchip, a P-mode nav module that has 3-axis accelerometer and 3-axis gyroscope sensors, P-mode micro SD card, which is used for storing data on the micro SD card. This is the hardware description. The bracelet that we developed use a small form factor microcontroller that reads real-time data from a special sensor module that contains an astrometer and a gyroscope and writes its output value to the micro SD card. Here, PMOD name provides a variety of orientation-related data, allowing users to easily determine the exact position of the module and where it is headed. It gives a raw data with a speed around 40 MHz. Both PMOD and NAV and the micro SD use serial peripheral interface protocol to talk with the microcontroller. For the first version, we consider two status LEDs, one being for notifying the user that the bracelet was calibrated and all modules are correctly working. After the first LED turns on, it means that the data acquisition has started. When the second LED turns on, it means the data acquisition finished and micro SD card can be safely removed for data reading and analysis. The bracelet is designed firm so that it is easy for the patients to wear on wrist. And we use 3-volt batteries, mostly used in digital watches, which last for 3 hours. A total of 40 participants participated in this study, from which 20 subjects have Parkinson's disease with varying degrees of tremor and bradykinesia severity, and the rest involve age-matched healthy controls. Regarding the Parkinson's disease patients, 5 men and 15 women have been asked to participate in this research. The set of healthy participants consists of 16 men and 4 women. Among 20 participants, 10 patients just have tremor symptoms with no bradykinesia sign, and 10 patients have bradykinesia symptom with no sign of tremor. The demographic and clinical information of subjects is explained in this table. The acquisition procedure includes 2 sessions. In the first session, only those activities that help in tremor detection were performed, and in second one, bradykinesia detection activities were realized. For example, in part 1, validation of tremor detection, patients are required to rest the forearms comfortably on the thighs for 1 minute. In second exercise, patient is first asked to completely elongate the elbow and to flex the arm forward in 90 degrees. At that point, the subject or participant is requested to spread their fingers out as much as conceivable and continue this position for a minute. To test for action tremor, the finger to nose test is considered. In part 2, for the validation of bradykinesia detection, finger tapping is performed for 60 seconds. Then fist open and close activity is attempted for 1 minute by the patients. And finally, the pronation and supination activities, this motion is continued for 1 minute as well. The illustration of whole process for detection of tremor and bradykinesia is explained here. First, data is collected from 40 participants using wearable bracelet, and the collection is occurred in 2 parts. In first session, 3 specific tasks for tremor assessment is performed. In next session, 3 specified tasks for bradykinesia assessment is performed. Recording is in form of accelerometer XYZ signals and gyroscope XYZ signals. So we have in total 40 recordings from 40 participants. Then these recordings go through the Butterworth bandpass IR filter that remove the drifts, outliers, and unwanted frequency from the signals. Then these signals are visualized using in time domain and frequency domain using fast Fourier transform. The ensemble data for feature extraction from 40 recordings collected for tremor and bradykinesia assessment is comprised of time and frequency domain features. The time domain features, which are linear, are mean, standard deviation, root mean square, kurtosis, skewness, and peak value. The non-linear features are approximate entropy and correlation dimension. The spectral estimation using Wells method window type Hamming is done, and with overlapping of 50%. The frequency domain features are peak amplitude, peak frequency, and band power. And then the next step goes to the feature selection, which is one of the important part, in which feature selection is performed using ANOVA test, and the feature which high ranking went through the machine learning classifiers. The classified that are here are unsupervised learning method, that is neural net clustering, and supervised learning, that is Cannon algorithm. Both shows very promising result. The tremor in bradykinesia successfully detected using Cannon approach, which gives 91.7% accuracy, which is a good accuracy. And the neural net clustering successfully classified 34 individuals out of 40 in correct classes. As the tremor frequency of upper extremities is lower than 13 Hz, so before the visualization and feature extraction from the signal, all the recorded signals are filtered out by Butterworth bandpass IR filter with a 10th order, and with a cutoff frequency between 2 Hz and 20 Hz. The reason of putting the cutoff frequency between 2 and 20 Hz is the tremor and bradykinesia mostly lies in low frequency range, and the frequency range is between 2 and 20 Hz. So that's why we put the cutoff frequency to 2 Hz to 20 Hz. In figure 1, you can see the visualization of healthy control signals before and after filtering in time domain and frequency domain using the fast Fourier transform. And in figure B, you can see the visualization of patient's signals before and after filtering in time and frequency domain. In both figures, we can clearly see the difference in the signals that like before filtering. In healthy control, we see less peaks because there are no any tremor activity in the healthy controls movements, while in patients we see more peaks and rhythmic frequency in the signals. This shows the tremor is a shaking in involuntary activity of the muscles. So we see the more peaks in unfiltered signals. However, after filtering, both the signals are filtered out, and the frequency range lies between 2 and 20 Hz, and these signals are further go for the classification purpose. The next step is feature extraction and selection, and the features are extracted which are in time domain and frequency domain. Both linear and non-linear features are extracted here, and the effectiveness of extracted features is evaluated using histograms. In the figure you see in the histogram there are different colors which indicates the different class types, and because of the overlapping distribution different class types and high dimensionality of features, it is difficult to decide that which features are more relevant, and that separates the patients from the healthy subjects. Hence we perform the feature selection process, and we went through the one-way ANOVA test, and the features are sorted by the importance, as we can see in the figure, and those features are selected which have a very high importance or high ranking. Both supervised and unsupervised machine learning classifier provide good results. Out of 40 individuals, neural net clustering discriminated 34 individuals in correct classes, while Cannon approach discriminated 91.7% accurately. The figure 1 shows the result of neural net clustering trained model that emphasizes the sample hits, which means how many samples fall in each cluster. The cluster with the maximum samples is more covered with the darker shade and less with the whiter. And the figure 2 shows the sensitivity and specificity of each class, that is healthy, bradykinesia, and tremor. And in clinical environment, the doctor can use this wearable bracelet device to comprehend the tremor and bradykinesia of patients quickly and with high accuracy. Considering COVID-19 pandemic, it is necessary for clinicians to continuously monitor Parkinson's disease patients' motor function to adopt the levodopa dose induction while avoiding adverse effects and decline in their motor activities. Here I would like to explain the levodopa dose. Levodopa is a kind of a medicine that mostly prescribed by doctors to Parkinson's disease patients that reduces the severity of their motor symptoms such as tremor and bradykinesia. And so alterations in motor functions between different visits are hard to follow, and clinicians risk to take incorrect decisions. In this work, we propose a smart e-health system for Parkinson's disease patients, evaluation leveraging deep learning and IoT wearable device. And here we sought to develop a complete ecosystem for a Wi-Fi based energy efficient wearable bracelet which collects Parkinson's disease related motion data and send them to the cloud platform in a high secure way for storage, data processing and severity estimation using deep learning algorithms. This block diagram shows the proposed Parkinson's disease monitoring system. In this block diagram, you can see that the person is wearing a wearable bracelet and performing some movements by his most affected limb. The device is wirelessly connected with Microsoft Azure Cloud, which provides ServiceNow platform in a form of a web application, where database is created of motion data transferred from a wearable bracelet. The data goes to a module developed for monitoring and assessment of Parkinson's disease patients' symptoms. The module first converts the inertial sensor data to scalograms using continuous wavelet transform and then pass it to LXNet transfer learning module to find severity level. Finally, the results are updated in ServiceNow platform, which can be accessed by patient as well as medical practitioner who is given access to cloud service. This is the modified version of a wearable bracelet that we discussed earlier. In this bracelet, we chose MediaTek MT3620 microcontroller, which is a highly integrated, high-performance IoT microcontroller unit with undeniable high level of security important for modern, robust internet-connected devices. Another useful feature is that MT3620 is designed in close cooperation with Microsoft. It's the first Microsoft Azure Sphere solution. This means it can easily be integrated with the Azure. So this diagram explains how we analyze the severity of tremor in bradykinesia using continuous wavelet transform and LXNet transfer learning. First of all, the data is collected using wrist sensors, which is present in the wearable bracelet, and the patient wears the bracelet and data is collected from the hand movements. The data collection criteria depends on differentiation. As we are trying to find out the severity level of the patient in on and off state, it means with the day when the patient take medicine and the day when patient miss the medicine. So on day one, the patient take the medicine and they are asked to perform some tailored exercises, some daily life activities, and some standard exercises used for writing skills. And in day 4, the patients are called again in clinical environment, and again the activities are performed by them. And on day 4 they miss the medicine, so that we can find out the severity level of the patient's cardinal symptoms with and without medicine. So the data is collected by this way, and after collection of data, the data is cleaned and labeled by their neurologist. And here the data collected by the patient was from the Shimmer device, not from our wearable bracelet. Because of the COVID situation, we were not able to manage to collect the data from a large audience of Parkinson's patients. And after the collection of data, the time series data is converted to the scalograms using continuous wavelet transform. These scalograms are the images, as we can see here. These images are then sorted out in form of the severity score of the patients in day 1 and day 4, and then these images goes through the tremor bradykinesia severity analysis of patients on and off state using LXNet transfer learning model. Using continuous wavelet transform, we converted the time series data collected by wearable bracelet to scalograms these images. These scalograms for tremor and bradykinesia of different severity scores are shown in figure, and from A to E the tremor scalograms are shown, and as you can see, in A tremor score 0, there's in B tremor score 1, C tremor score 2, D tremor score 3, E tremor score 4. The same goes for the bradykinesia, and in these scalograms you see with a severity score difference there's a change in image colors. For example, in tremor score 0 you can see the image is more in blue color, and there are less colors of yellow, orange and sky blue, and this shows a difference in the severity of the tremor. The same one is for bradykinesia, and how these scalograms are constructed we are going to explain here. And first of all, continuous wavelet transform is explained in using question 1, and how we obtain these scalograms is based on equation 2, which is equal to Fc into Fs upon small f. Here Fc is the central frequency of mother wavelet, Fs is the sampling period of the signal collection, and F is the tremor or bradykinesia frequency. With the experiment conducted, the bradykinesia dominant frequency of patients appeared as 0.32 to 1.40 Hz, while the tremor frequency of upper extremities lies between 3 to 12 Hz. Considering the chosen wavelet, which we choose Morley type here, the central frequency is 0.8125. and the sampling frequency of the data is 100 Hz. And following the frequency range at which the tremor and bradykinesia occurs, the continuous wavelet transform is computed and we get these scalograms. And this is the AlexNet architecture, and first of all the database is created, and the database has an image size of 227 to 227 to 3 dimension, and these images are then transferred to the convolution layer, and then max pooling layer, and again convolution and max pooling, and then the filters and the kernels are all prepared in a way that we get the better accuracy, and the final 3 layers are fully connected layers. And the output is in terms of 5 severity scores, that is score 0 to score 4. These are the confusion metrics that we obtained from AlexNet transfer learning model. The figure A shows a bradykinesia severity level estimation, and figure B shows the confusion metrics for tremor severity estimation. And the green color boxes shows the correct predictions, while the red color boxes show the incorrect predictions. The objective of this study is to provide the medical staff and doctors with an ecosystem for a better evaluation of Parkinson's stages and the progress of this disease in terms of tremor and bradykinesia. The experimental results show the efficiency and robustness of the proposed procedure are proven by 90% accuracy for tremor estimation and 84% for bradykinesia, with a good sensitivity and specificity in terms of each scoring class that we seen in the confusion matrix as well. Here in figure A, it's a patient's tremor severity level during day 1 when they took the medicine, and in day 4 when they missed the medicine. And figure B shows the patient's bradykinesia severity level during day 1 and day 4. So in this research study, we proposed a highly objective, accurate and sustainable solution in form of a wearable bracelet that can be used in Parkinson's disease management. And this device is also enhanced with the early and differential diagnosis of Parkinson's disease, which is very important for clinical manifestation. And in addition to that, the device can assist in monitoring of the severity level of patients in response of the medicine in home environment using cloud computing platform. So this is the end of my today's presentation, and thank you so much for your attention.